I've heard that New Zealand is just full of adventure
Yeah.
stuff, like the zip lining and all kinds of incredible adventure stuff. So if you're into stuff like that, like you definitely need to start like creating a plan to go to New Zealand for
Yeah.
sure.
And nature, you like if you
And
love
nature.
hiking and I'm not a hiker myself, but I can point you 100% in the right direction. Where I live, there's some amazing hiking trails. We're directly adjacent the bush. We have a stream river boundary, which we have our own little swimming hole, which is pretty cool.
Welcome to the Dream Big, Have Adventures podcast, where your big entrepreneurial dreams and your dreams of travel and adventure collide. Hi, I'm your host, Tess Milholland. I'm a published author and founder of HerHouse, an app community of solo women travelers who host each other for free, giving us safe, affordable accommodation and a supportive network of women all around the world. Here, we mesh big dreams of building business with your thirst for adventure. Because I'm going to give you a hint. They're actually way more connected than you realize. On here, I dive into building a tech startup as a solo founder and bring women from the HerHouse community onto the show to share what they're building and how we're bringing women together by hosting others in our network. So no matter where you're listening to this, doing the dishes, on the road, or in the airport, if you have big dreams and a thirst for adventure, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Awesome, Gina. Well, I thank you so much for joining me on the podcast today. It's so much fun to have you here.
I'm so excited, Tess, and to talk more about HerHouse. It's wonderful to be here.
Yes, awesome. Well, I love connecting with more of the hosts like yourself inside of HerHouse. Like you guys are just amazing women. And so I just wanted to kind of let you introduce yourself to maybe the ladies who don't know you yet.
Yeah, so I'm Gina and I'm I live in New Zealand, so beautiful Aotearoa, in the North Island. So those that aren't familiar, New Zealand is made up of 2 islands, so I'm in the north, and I'm in the top half of the North Island in the Coromandel Peninsula. So I was born and bred in New Zealand. Absolutely passionate about my country. So yeah, if you haven't been it, I know for some people it's way down on the bottom of the planet, but it is definitely worth the flight.
My gosh, it's on my bucket list for sure to like come down, spend at least like a couple good months down there and traveling and seeing you. And we have a couple other wonderful ladies in HerHouse there too. So that's so
Yes, I
fun.
think there's one in Auckland too, isn't there, as well, that I know of. Yeah.
Yeah, Ellen's in Auckland. She's awesome. She's also a very experienced HerHouse host. And yeah, so are you, I was curious, what do you do for work? Like, I know you have a business or let's share that with us.
So yeah, it really ties in with her host. So I'm passionate about travel and connecting women as well, just like you are, Tess. So I just run a travel coaching and travel facilitating business. So I like to call it travel facilitating because I facilitate other women to travel boldly and empower them through travel. So it ties in beautifully with what you're doing, Tess, and I really encourage, other women. And this is a great way. It's sort of a different way of traveling too, like staying with hosts. So it's a great way to explore different options in travel, and that's what, I love to share. And so, yeah, it ties in perfectly with what you guys are doing.
I love that. How long have you been doing that kind of work?
Be coming up. So I was one of the silly persons that started my travel business just before the pandemic. So, but what that did, we were very fortunate here in New Zealand. We were still able to do a lot of local travel. So it actually really, ironically, kickstarted my local weekend retreats, which I do here. Which are a little taster of all the goodies our area has to offer. But so that's really actually took off during that time. So, and then now I just do other countries that I focus on, like Bali, and then I like to include somewhere a little bit exotic every now and then. But yeah, so it's been ticking along since then. And then, I was lucky enough to get into the TCN travel coaching program, which tied in beautifully with, encouraging women to explore and make new connections through travel.
It's amazing. That's what we're all here to do, right?
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I love that. And I'd love to know a little bit about your home and kind of what you like, because I know you are, like wanting to host ladies who, travel to New Zealand. And yeah, can you tell us a little bit about your home and kind of what
Yeah.
it's like?
So we actually just had guests, or friends, I should say, staying just before Christmas. Me and my partner met them in Jordan traveling. So they came here, they were here for a wedding, and they actually came with their new baby and their parents. So they just came and stayed with us. But we are rural, so it's on the Coromandel Peninsula. So one thing I would recommend anyone coming to New Zealand, if you want to get off the main tourist hubs or the main routes, you do need a vehicle, or you do need some form of transport you can take. So that's just one thing anyone researching to coming to New Zealand, I would just advise. But Coromandel Peninsula is about an hour and a quarter, an hour and a half southeast of Auckland City, which is the main city most people fly into. So very close to the main transport flight hubs. But we're also a huge local and international tourist destination as far as nature, beaches. We've got amazing beaches on the north and the west and the east coast. We've got the famous Cathedral Cove, which I think if you've watched Narnia, it was very famous for that. Yeah. And we've got Hot Water Beach, which I think a lot of people know about. But we've also got a lot of hidden gems, which I love sharing with locals. And being in the country, you get to really experience proper New Zealand life.
I love that you can really get off the beaten path, get a car and come see you. And then that's what the best thing about like staying with locals is that you get to see all the great things that maybe you wouldn't know just
100%.
as a tourist type of thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm always here to help if anyone is coming, even if you're not staying or you can't stay like with me. I'm happy to help either as well. Like, just put you onto a good itinerary or a road trip route or, any advice. So I'm always here within the HerHouse community to reach out to as well.
I love that. That's so awesome. Um, and I know that, you are really into helping women travel and solo travel. Have you done much solo traveling yourself or?
Yeah, mine was, and this is really, I love sharing this because mine was actually later in life. So a lot of New Zealanders and Australians, they do what we call an OE, overseas experience. I think it's similar to the US, the gap year. So a lot of people do that when they're younger. I did mine when I turned 40. So I did it in reverse. So I went backpacking for my 40th birthday for 8 months through Europe and Turkey and Morocco, and did various ways of funding that, which is quite interesting, but that's another story. So yeah, and then I've sort of solo traveled from there. Obviously now I do have a partner, but we have a great relationship where he still encourages my solo travels. I've actually just got back from Vietnam, which was great, and reinvigorated those travel juices. So yeah, I've been sort of solo traveling since 2011 now.
That's amazing. I love that, and that's what it's so funny because I did that. Like when I got out of college, I took that kind of like gap year that you're talking about. Like I solo traveled through Australia. Like after I got out of college, I had my working holiday, amazing experience. And I originally designed Her House for ladies in their 20s because that's who I thought would be using it, right? No
Yeah.
way. We have so many women, 50s plus, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Our oldest member, I think, is 83 years old, and
Yeah.
she's still solo traveling. So I love seeing that. You guys just inspire me every single day. And to know that, like, life is like, you need to continue living life, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah,
And I
just
think
because you're
that's the
getting older. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, exactly. And I think too, when you do connect with like-minded souls, it doesn't matter if you're 20 or 80. I've been on group trips solo or met people solo, and we've come together no matter the age, and I think that's a really invigorating thing, that there's that connection no matter what your age. And I really love that, because that grows different opinions and points of view, and yeah, you get a lot of growth from sharing experiences with not just your own age group. So I really love, and I've got friends all over the world from various ages. And one thing I love about travel is when I meet strangers, it's very rarely they ask me my age. It sort of maybe comes in like way down the track, which I really like. But it is a great way to connect. And I think what you've built with HerHouse is a fantastic way for women to travel, because they want to connect with people. It's really important, and they want more authentic experiences, and they want to be safe. So I think, what you're building is really important and a great way for women to travel.
I 100% agree, Gina. I think that it's going to be, as it grows and grows and grows, it's just going to continue to get more and more valuable, as time goes on. And right now, at this time of this recording, it's still like quite small and quite niche. But I can see it growing substantially for years and years to come. So really excited for what we're doing. And I can know that you really understand the heart behind it, and how we all just want to keep each other safe, and we want to help each other have these incredible experiences that really change our lives, like from the
Yeah.
inside out. And if you've never done a solo trip like that, like you don't quite understand it yet, but once you do go on a solo trip that changes you from the inside out, you'll never be the same, ever.
I couldn't, yeah. And I think, I sometimes think about this because I talk about that transformation quite a lot. And I'm sure people sometimes think, oh my God, would she just shut up? Would she stop going on about solo travel? But it's so much deeper than just a holiday. And it is a real journey into yourself. And I think, like you said, it's very hard to explain to someone who's never experienced it. But once you start connecting with women who have, that's why I did my solo adventure at 40. I came out from a really bad separation. I'd lost all my confidence and self-belief. I was in a pretty low place. So just taking that leap of faith, and I went quite extreme. So not everyone has to go quite extreme and just book a one-way ticket and take a backpack. But it taught me so much about myself. And I'm so grateful. I mean, there were definitely ups and downs, but that's life. But it taught me so much about myself. Hence why I also wanted to share that transformation and how it feels with other women as well.
Oh, totally. And I see that over and over and over again inside of the Her House community. Like, women come to solo traveling at really special seasons of their life. They, like you, like have gotten out of a bad relationship. They've gone through a divorce. They have been widowed, or, they've gone through some trauma, some really intense things in their life, and they're needing healing. They need to find themselves again. And a really I mean, some people call it just running away, and maybe we are running away to an extent, but it's like, it's just so good. Like, whenever someone goes through some kind of intense, like, personal situation, I'm like, you just need to go travel. Like, you just need to, like, go somewhere, at least for, like, a couple of weeks longer if you can, and just go somewhere by yourself, and it'll be so good for you.
Yeah, I love that you said about running away, because I've had this conversation. A lot of people said I ran away. I've had conversations, with other women travelers online. Um, and I don't think it is. Maybe consciously when we're doing it, we think we're running away, but that isn't actually what we're doing. We're running towards something. And I think that's a really important thing. And so what if it's running away? Sometimes we need to separate ourselves from stuff to get clarity. And, travel is an amazing way to do that. And okay, if your finances or whatever don't allow you, it doesn't have to be thousands of kilometers miles away overseas. It can be an internal one within your country, but it's just removing yourself from the situation you're in and putting yourself in a new situation that reinvigorates your brain and your senses, and gets all your muscles like confidence and all that stuff working again, which you might have lost. So yeah, again, here we go. We're banging on about the fabulous benefits of solo travel, so you better get out there and do it.
Just do it. You just gotta do it. And definitely go to New Zealand. We have a few incredible hosts. Like, whenever you go to New Zealand, you first need to connect with Ellen. She's in Auckland. So what you can do is fly into Auckland, stay with Ellen for, a few days. Ellen is actually really known to do like really long-term stays. Not all hosts do that. Really, hosts usually just host for like 2 or 3 nights, really. That's usually what they do. But Ellen tends to host for like 2 to 3 weeks at a time. So definitely connect with Ellen first, and then connect with Gina so that you can connect with her and then go stay with her for a few days and show you around. I know you were mentioning a couple of cool places. Are there any specific places that you would love to share with your guests?
So there's a couple actually, because, my friends that were staying just wanted to know, just because where I am, like I said, it's rural, but it's a great base for day trips. So it's very central to do like day trips to both sides of the peninsula and also down further into what we call the Bay of Plenty as well. So it's really, really central if you want a base. But just locally, just down the road, so about 20 minutes drive from my house, is the Krangahaki Gorge. So we're very fortunate here in New Zealand. We have a lot of walks and hikes and conservation areas that are free for anyone to use. So this is like, if you're on a budget, you don't have to pay anything but your gas getting to and from. So it's Krangahaki Gorge. So it used to be an old this area historically was known for mining. So it has a lot of old mining ruins, which might sound a bit but they were actually really fascinating. And it was an old railway line, and they've taken up the railway line, and now it's a track where you can ride or walk. But the gorge it goes through is stunning, and you walk through the old train tunnel, and you can go for a swim. There's a beautiful waterfall. There's the historic Waikino Tavern, which has a boutique gin distillery, which I highly recommend as well. But these things are all so accessible and, and free. So it's a great way just to, like I said, get off the beaten track. Another great one, which is up in Coromandel town, which is north of us, is Driving Creek Railway. This was created by a potter, a famous potter here in New Zealand. He's since passed away, but he bought this huge block of land, regenerated it back into native New Zealand bush. But he also put the small gauge railway in. Sounds a bit weird. To the top of this property, but they've also now put in an incredible zip lining track. So you can go there, it's really beautiful. You can go up in this cute little train up to the top viewing platform, but you also can take in a little bit of adventure with some zip lining. So there are a couple of two, really cool gems that I love to share.
That's so special. And I've heard that New Zealand is just full of adventure stuff, like the zip lining and all kinds of incredible adventure stuff. So if you're into stuff like that, like, you definitely need to start like creating a plan to go to New Zealand for sure.
And nature, if you love hiking and I'm not a hiker myself, but I can point you 100% in the right direction. Where I live, there's some amazing hiking trails. We're directly adjacent in the bush. We have a stream river boundary, which we have our own little swimming hole, which is pretty cool. If you love nature, a really good time of year to come is actually March. Because during our summer, we're right in our peak summer period right now. It's super busy because all the locals are on holiday. So if you're planning to come around, December into late January, early February, it's really busy. So book ahead if you're looking at anything. But March is a really lovely time because it's shoulder season. So you don't have the local busyness that you'd normally have, but the weather's still really nice. So we've got here in New Zealand, so like today, it's a really hot day. So I wouldn't gauge it on temperatures. Today, we might get to 30 degrees. I don't know how to change that into Celsius for the US listeners. But
I know it's hot. I know that 30 is hot. Yeah.
But even when we're around 24, 25, we've got a real high burn rate. So make sure we say slip, slop, slap, put that sunblock on. So that's just something. But March is a really lovely time to come.
Amazing. Well, we'll definitely be keeping that in mind to come visit you guys in March. That probably sounds amazing. Awesome. Well, I thank you so much, Gina, for taking some time with me today. And if someone is hearing this, thinking about hosting inside of HerHouse, what would you say to her? Like, if she's kind of like, oh, I'm on the fence, but I'm not quite sure about it. Like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely, if you love connecting with people, you're open-minded and love sharing where you live, I think it's definitely a wonderful way to, one, have company. I think it's really cool to host people from different countries and learn new things. So if you're into anything like that, or just want to share and support other women that are traveling solo, because I'm sure if you end up going solo traveling yourself, it will be reciprocated when you go to the other host countries, which is a bonus. So yeah, definitely recommend connecting with HerHouse, finding out what it's all about. And even the community is amazing of other like-minded travelers and women in the group. So yeah, highly recommend it.
Oh, awesome. Well, I love this conversation, Gina. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm definitely going to start planning a trip down under to see you down in New Zealand. That sounds amazing.
You're so welcome, Tess. And thank you for having me and sharing a little bit about my little piece of paradise down here in New Zealand.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of the Dream Big, Have Adventures podcast. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you're feeling generous, a review is a really helpful way to help us reach more listeners around the world. And if you're a woman keen for solo adventure but want a real community who you can connect and stay with around the world, come join us in HerHouse. You can download the app right now on Google and Apple, and you can check us out with a 7-day free trial. I can't wait to connect with you personally inside of the HerHouse network. And until next time, keep dreaming big and having adventures. We'll see you out there.